Well, I've got Dr. George in the studio with me today, and definitely we shall be taking a look at them. A lot of happenings. It's nice to have you on the show.
Always great to be here. Compliments of the season.
Interestingly, George, CAF Awards and Victor Osimhen in the running.
Oh yes, he's in the running as expected. He had a very, very phenomenal 2022-2023 season, which culminated with Napoli winning their first Serie A title in over 30 years. He emerged as the highest goal scorer of the campaign. A lot of people think he was the Serie A's MVP, but that was given to Cavaschiglia. But last week he won the Italian Federation Player of the Year in the Serie A, and he's had all of these accolades coming in. Remember, for the national team, he was the highest goal scorer at the qualifiers for the AFCON, which will take place in Cote d'Ivoire. So Osimhen has had it. Let me also not forget that he finished seventh when you talk about the best players in the world. He was in the top 10, and so it looks like he is for the gunning. But of course, we have Hakimi, who was the best right back at the World Cup, and Salah, who has always been a regular in terms of excellent performances.
Well, no doubt, it's just days away, and Nigerians will be looking forward to their award come the 11th of December. And we have Victor Osimhen, we also have Mohamed Salah, and Achraf Hakimi of Morocco in the men's category. And let's hope that the best man will indeed win on the day. In the women's category, Oshoala sets a sight on extending a record-breaking reign as player of the year. She's been dominant in this category. 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019, and also 2022. So will it be our turn once again this time around, 2026, 2023? Well, that's the million-dollar question for the Super Falcons player, Asisat Oshoala. Well, joining us at this point in time on the show is Tunde Adelakun, who indeed is one man who is respected as far as football is concerned, not only on the continent of Africa, beyond the shores of Africa, and definitely Tunde Adelakun will be talking to us on the nominees, the final nominees. Well, Tunde Adelakun, it's nice to have you on the program Sports Desk.
Very nice to be here. Compliments of the season to everyone.
Well, compliments of the season to you too. Well, we are indeed taking a look at the final shortlist for the CAF Awards. Nigerians are indeed looking forward to Monday. It's been a while since the Nigerian won the best player on the continent. And the question over the years has been, is it that we don't churn out great stars or quality players anymore? But then, Tunde, as it is, in the eyes of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, we have Mohamed Salah of Liverpool, an Egyptian. We have Victor Osimhen of Nigeria, and Morocco's Hakimi Achraf. Well, on paper, where do you think the pendulum will swing come Monday?
Well, listen, it's been a while for Nigerians, and many times unfairly so. I think Nigerians have availed themselves and acquitted themselves very well in the world of football over the years, and have not been given their due, as is expected. I hope this year will be an exception. On paper, when you look at, if you look at criteria, what criteria do we base best player on? Is it winning stuff? Who has won stuff here that has not been won before? Victor Osimhen should be the clear favorite. Victor Osimhen has won, he won the Scudetto for the first time in 35 years for his club. He also was the highest goal scorer, voted the player of the year in Italy. Now, people would say all of these are domestic things, but he took it into the international scene as well, and he made top scorer in the qualifiers for the Africa Cup of Nations. This boy has had a phenomenal series of months in the course of the year. It's different from, I like what Achraf Hakimi has done for PSG and for Morocco, but it was a few months, it was a few weeks during the World Cup that he was the best right back. Putting it all together, in terms of expectations, expectations vis-a-vis the strength and the level of the team. He plays for PSG. They didn't win the Champions League, which is what they set out to do when they got him from Inter. They only just managed to scale through to win the French league. It's nothing special, really. And as for Mo Salah is doing what he normally and usually does, nothing extra. Who has put more work? Who has put more attention and more focus and more hard work into their everyday work is Victor Osimhen, consistently a threat to many defenders all the way through the season. I think, no bias here, but I think that Victor deserves it this year. Now, unfortunately, the people who do the voting, now that's where the question is. Will they vote Victor Osimhen, or will they go for the regular, or will they go for the more popular?
Well, but before we come to the women's category, let me throw this to you, Tunde. You've worked in Nigeria. You have close relationship with Nigerian footballers, those based at home and also outside the shores of the country. Some asked questions why Austin J.J. Okocha never indeed won the African Footballer of the Year award. But then, between the last time a Nigerian won the award, that was Kanu Nwankwo in the 90s, till the year 2023. What do you think is responsible, for this long drought as far as the African Footballer of the Year individual award is concerned? Could it be because we don't have quality players? What do you think, or what are the factors that are responsible for this?
We have got quality players. Nigeria has got quality players. The biggest dearth of talent in African football is from Nigeria. You turn anywhere in the world, you go anywhere. I work with the Benin national team at the moment, and so I go to various countries looking for talent for Benin, which is very few and far between. But anywhere I go to, small countries, big countries, there's always a Nigerian there. Always a Nigerian. So the talent is unquestionable. I think one of the biggest problems that we have had over the years, we have cried and shouted about it, is the voting criteria for selecting the best player in the continent. How do we vote for them? So we get the coaches selected, coaches and captains of all the national teams with selected journalists. Now, the journalists that are voting, how many of them, and this is not fair to say here, but I have to hit the nail on the head, because that is the truth. There is a wide disparity, a wide division in the criteria of the judges, of the voting journalists that actually come out and vote. And most of them, I have to say, unfortunately, lean towards the French-speaking side of the continent. So in terms of people who have been sent voting papers to vote, I think a good chunk, 50% will be Francophone, maybe 25-30% will be Anglophone, and 20% the rest. 20% the rest being Arabs and Portuguese. If they join up with a Francophone journalist, the winner would always be a Francophone member. There's nothing you can do about it. Now, is that right? Is it wrong? Does it reflect the number of your respected journalists that actually do the voting? We don't know, because we don't have a database of journalists that actually do this voting, so we know who actually does it. But in the context of the fact that most of them watch a lot more the French League on Canal Plus Africa, and they see a lot more of their players, they will always vote for a Kanute, an Emmanuel Adebayo, a Didier Drogba, a Samuel Eto'o, before they remember the skills of people like J.J. Okocha or Kanu Nwankwo or Sunday Olise or whatever. So there is something that needs to be addressed in the voting criteria, how we actually get to picking the player of the year each year for this continent. And as long as that has not been addressed and addressed properly, we will always have these problems. Now, is it a problem? Maybe it's not, because we understand and we appreciate the quality of the players that we have got. Okay. It doesn't take away the fact that J.J. Okocha was a fantastic player, and he always will be. It doesn't take away the fact that one of the most prolific strikers in this time is Victor Osimhen. Whether they give him the award or they do not, we recognize him, we love him, and we know him. All right. So it now depends on where we go from here.
Tunde Adelakun, assistant coach of the Benin Republic national team, I must say a very big thank you for finding out time to talk to us on the program.